1 week later, Cole stood at the main spaceport of Faldari Prime. The shuttle that would take him back to Earth was ready. His time on the alien world had come to an end for now. Around him, Valeran officials and citizens watched with calm expressions, but Cole could sense a quiet respect in their eyes. Many had once seen him as a stranger. Now they saw him as something more. He looked down at his wrist. The silver band Lyraya had given him still shimmered faintly. It was more than just decoration. It marked him as a bonded guest, someone who had shared truth and been accepted. But the real weight in his heart came from the woman walking beside him, Lyraya. They had grown close. Out through loud words or fast actions, but through shared moments, honest conversation, and one unusual greeting that had changed everything. "You don't have to leave yet," she said softly, her eyes on the shuttle. Cole smiled a little. "I know, but Earth needs my report, and the Council wants someone they trust to explain what's really possible between our people." Lyraya nodded. "You will do it well. Your words reach hearts." He looked at her seriously. "This bond between us, it's not just a cultural custom to me anymore." "Isn't to me either," she said. They stood in silence for a while. Then Lyraya said, "Before you go, I want you to see something." She led him down a quiet path near the port, away from the waiting crowds. They entered a small building with curved walls and soft lights. Inside was a wide screen showing the stars, planets, and travel paths. "This is the Unified Star Network, used by diplomats," she explained. "It lets us send private thoughts and feelings through safe pathways. Our bond allows us to connect through it, even from far away." Cole was surprised. "You mean I can talk to you through our bond, even when I'm on Earth?" Lyraya nodded, not with words, "But you'll know I'm there. You'll feel me, just as I'll feel you." He stepped closer. "That makes saying goodbye a little easier." She smiled, but her eyes were soft. "It's not goodbye, just a pause in the journey." Back at the port, the last call for boarding echoed through the station. Cole took a deep breath. "I've kissed someone goodbye before," he said, half laughing. "But this time it means more." Lyraya tilted her head. "Then let this greeting be our promise." She stepped forward and kissed him one last time before departure. It was calm, slow, and full of understanding. The warmth passed between them like a message. "I will." "Wait. I believe in us." When they pulled away, neither spoke. Words weren't needed anymore. Cole stepped onto the shuttle, turning one last time to see Lyraya standing tall, graceful as ever, watching him go, but not with sadness, hope. Weeks later, Cole stood in front of the Earth's diplomatic council. He wore the robe he had received from the Valerians. And though it looked different from Earth's fashion, he wore it with pride. "The Valerians are not a threat," he said clearly. "They are not cold or distant. They're simply built to connect in a way we don't understand at first." He explained their customs, their peaceful ways, and carefully the nature of their unique greeting. Some council members raised eyebrows when he described the bond. "You mean they kiss strangers?" one asked. "No," Cole answered. "They welcome them, and only if trust is returned. It's not romantic by default. It's emotional honesty." A long silence followed. Then the head councilwoman stood. "You've given us a new view of a species we barely knew. It's this kind of bond. Could bring great peace, if we understand it." Cole nodded. "Understanding is the first step. That's what they taught me." In the months that followed, new Earth Valoran programs were created. Students, scientists, and artists began traveling between worlds. Humans learned the custom of greeting, not always through mouth bonding, but through respectful touch or hand-on-heart gestures. The Valerians adjusted as well, learning that humans needed time to feel safe, and through it all, Cole and Lyraya remained connected. Though far apart there, bonds stayed strong. At night, Cole sometimes sat by his window and closed his eyes. He could feel Hurl like a soft presence in his mind, calm and steady. One evening, he received a special message through the bond. Not words, but a feeling. "Come back. It's time." He smiled, packed his bag, and booked his return. when he stepped off the shuttle again? The Valerian sun was rising. Lariah waited for him on the platform, standing just as she had the first time. But now, there was no confusion, no fear, just quiet. Joy as he walked to her. She didn't rush forward. She waited, allowing him the choice. Cole stopped in front of her. Then he smiled and leaned in, greeting her in the way that once shocked him. Their lips met peaceful, powerful, and full of memory. This time, it wasn't just a custom. It was home. The shuttle doors hissed open with a soft hum, and Cole stepped onto the soil of Faldari Prime. It was his first time on an alien world. The air smelled different, like damp leaves and sweet herbs, and the sky above was a cloudy mix of deep violet and gold. It was beautiful, strange, and peaceful all at once. Cole adjusted his uniform and checked his translator one more time. He was a junior diplomat sent by Earth to help open peaceful relations with the Valerians, a species the humans had only met a few months ago. The Valerians were known for being graceful, quiet, and mysterious. But everything so far had gone smoothly in the talks until now. A group of Valerians stood at the end of the landing platform, waiting in a straight line. They were tall, with soft blue-purple skin and small elf-like ears. Their robes moved like water when they walked. In the center of the group was a young woman. She stood confidently, her eyes focused on Cole. "That's the lead emissary." The pilot whispered, "Her name is Lariah." Cole nodded and took a breath. He walked forward slowly, trying to look calm and respectful. When he reached Lariah, he gave the traditional Earth bow. But before he could rise fully, Lariah stepped. Closer, too close. She gently placed her hands on both sides of his face, tilted her head, and kissed him. Not a quick touch, not a polite peck. Her lips pressed into his, and her tongue moved into his mouth softly and slowly. Cole's eyes widened in shock. "What is happening?" his mind screamed. For a few seconds, he was frozen. His hands didn't move. His body didn't move. He felt like he had stepped into a dream or a nightmare. Then, just as suddenly, Lariah pulled back with a soft smile and a nod. Behind her, Valerians clapped lightly as if this was a normal moment. Cole stood there, stunned. His face was red. His lips were still wet. His heart was pounding. Lariah didn't seem embarrassed at all. "Welcome, human diplomat," she said calmly. "We are honored by your visit." Cole opened his mouth, but no words came out. He finally managed to say, "Thank you. I appreciate the welcome." Lariah gestured kindly. "Come, let us walk to the garden chambers. You must be tired after your journey." Cole followed, still in shock. His mind replayed the moment again and again. Had she really kissed him? Like that? Did he just get kissed by an alien woman in front of everyone? Hours later, Cole sat in his guest quarters, trying to make sense of what happened. The room was quiet, filled with soft lights and a gentle scent of flowers. It was peaceful, but Cole's mind was anything but. He activated his datapad and started reviewing the cultural guide again. He looked for any section that mentioned kissing, greetings, or physical contact. But there was nothing, not a single warning. How could they leave that part out? He muttered. He opened a private message to his mission supervisor, encountered unexpected greeting from Valerian emissary. Physical contact was made mouth to mouth, possibly cultural. No warning in briefing files. Request clarification. Cole sent the message and rubbed his face. He had trained for months, studied alien etiquette, practiced respectful speech, but nothing had prepared him for that moment. He kept seeing Lariah's calm face. She hadn't looked ashamed or awkward. If anything, she had looked respectful and graceful. Maybe that was their way of saying hello. The door chimed gently. "Enter." Cole said. Lariah stepped in, her robes glowing softly under the lights. She smiled warmly. "I hope you are comfortable," she said. "Your quarters were prepared with care." Cole stood quickly. "Yes, very comfortable. Thank you." She tilted her head. "I noticed you were confused earlier. Was the greeting unexpected?" Cole cleared his throat. "I'll be honest. Yes, in my culture, we don't usually kiss someone. We just met." Lariah looked surprised, then a little amused. Ah, I see. Then perhaps I should explain. She stepped forward, keeping her voice gentle. Among Valerians, the greeting of mouth bonding is a sign of trust and openness. It is not romantic. It is how we share energy and connect our intentions. To greet someone without it would be seen as rude, like ignoring a handshake. Cole blinked. Hey, so it's normal for you? Yes, she said softly, and very important. Through it, we sense feelings, emotions, and truth. It's more than a gesture, it's a first connection. Cole didn't know what to say. He looked down, then met her eyes. I didn't mean to offend you. I just didn't understand. It did not offend me, Cole, she said kindly. You reacted with honesty. That is all I needed to see. Turned to leave, but paused at the door. Tomorrow, when we meet the High Council, the greeting will be repeated. Out. You may refuse, but it would raise questions among the elders. Cole nodded slowly, still unsure, still feeling strange, but a little less lost now as the door closed behind her. He sighed deeply. He had traveled light years from Earth to build bridges with a new world. But no one ever told him that the first step would involve an alien's tongue in his mouth. Cole woke early the next morning, but he had hardly slept at all. He kept thinking about the kiss. It wasn't just the act, it was how normal it had seemed to Lariah and the others. She had done it like someone giving a handshake or a polite nod. There was no awkwardness, no emotion that felt romantic, just calm confidence. Meanwhile, Cole had spent half the night pacing his room, replaying the moment again and again. He splashed cold water on his face and looked at himself in the mirror. Pull it together. He whispered, today was the big meeting with the Valoran High Council. It was his job to be respectful, calm, and professional. He was representing all of Earth's interests in this first step, toward a formal alliance. The last thing he needed was to make a scene over a cultural difference. Still, he couldn't forget how strange it had felt. No training had prepared him for a mouth-to-mouth greeting. His datapad blinked. A new message had arrived from Earth's diplomatic advisor. Noted. Mouth-to-mouth gesture likely a deep trust greeting. Continue with cultural sensitivity. Avoid rejection unless absolutely necessary. Try to learn more before reacting publicly. Cole frowned. That wasn't very helpful. Basically, they wanted him to accept it and not cause problems. Easy for them to say they weren't the ones being kissed by an alien stranger. A soft chime sounded. The door slid open, and once again, Lariah entered. She wore a light blue robe today, flowing gently with her movements. As always, she gave a soft smile. Are you ready for the council meeting? She asked. Cole stood and nodded. As ready as I can be. Lariah stepped closer. Cole tensed slightly, unsure of what to do. She noticed, I will not kiss you unless. You allow it, she said gently. You seemed uncomfortable yesterday. Cole paused, surprised by her honesty. I appreciate that. I'm still adjusting. On Earth, such a gesture means something different. It's not just a greeting. Lariah nodded slowly. We have learned that humans have many customs tied to touch and closeness. For us, mouth bonding is about sharing presence. It is not emotional in the same way. Cole looked down. Yesterday, I felt confused. Maybe even embarrassed. I understand, she said. May I explain more? He nodded. She continued, when two Valerians greet this way, we don't just touch lips. We feel the others. Honesty. The gesture allows us to sense if someone is hiding fear, anger, or deceit. In ancient times, it helped avoid war. Today, it helps build trust. Cole looked thoughtful. You can really sense that, just from a kiss. Yes, she replied. We do not read thoughts, but we feel. Truth, emotion, that is why we welcomed you this way. It was our way of saying we do not fear you. You may know us. Cole felt a strange wave of guilt. He had thought it was just a weird, personal thing. But to them, it had meaning, a kind of emotional handshake. Didn't mean to be disrespectful, he said. I just didn't understand. Lariah's smile returned, softer this time. You are not disrespectful, Cole. You are learning. That's all we ask. Later that morning, Cole stood before the high council chamber, a beautiful, open structure. Built from stone and plant-like glass, the ceiling curved like giant petals, letting in filtered golden light. Water flowed through channels beside the floor, making soft sounds that calmed the room. The council members arrived, tall Valerians, all dressed in shimmering robes. They stood quietly, watching Cole with curiosity, but not hostility. Lareya stepped beside him and whispered, "They will expect a greeting. Just one, to the eldest among them. He is named Sirelvan." Cole nodded slowly. As the moment came, the eldest council member stepped forward. His face was kind but serious. His skin was more faded, and his movements slow but dignified. Cole took a breath and approached him. He looked into the elder's eyes and allowed the gesture. Sir Ildashvan reached up gently, just as Lareya had, and placed his hands on Cole's face. Then their lips touched. It was slower than before, softer. Second passed, then two. Then Sirelvan pulled back. Nothing was said. But the room felt different. Sirelvan gave a respectful nod and turned back to his seat. The other council members nodded as well. Lareya leaned close and whispered, "He found your heart calm. He respects you now." Cole didn't fully understand what just happened, but somehow it had worked. After the meeting, as the two of them walked through the garden paths outside, Cole finally spoke. "Can I ask something personal?" he said. "Of course," Lareya replied. "That first kiss. Did you sense anything in me?" Lareya smiled gently. "Yes, I sensed confusion. A wall. But no anger. No threat. That's why I wasn't upset." He nodded slowly. "And today? Today I sensed curiosity, openness, and something else." She paused, thoughtful. "You want to understand. It is rare in a visitor. Many come to judge. You came to learn." Cole smiled quietly to himself. Maybe this world wasn't so strange after all. Maybe he just needed to look at it through their eyes, not his own. The next few days on Faldari Prime passed slowly for Cole, but something inside him was changing. He was no longer confused every time someone greeted him with a soft touch or a strange word. The culture still felt unfamiliar, but the shock was wearing off. He had even gotten used to the scent of the air, sweet, earthy, and calming. But there was one thing he still wasn't fully prepared for. Lareya, every morning when she arrived, she would look at him calmly, waiting for permission. Before greeting him the Valaran way, she was respectful. She never forced it. And yet each time she stepped forward and pressed her lips against his. Cole's thoughts turned upside down. At first, it had just been cultural confusion. Now it was something else, something deeper. There was a feeling in her kiss, something beyond touch. It felt like she was reading him, even if she never said what she saw. He was beginning to wonder if these greetings were affecting her, too. That morning, Cole walked with Lareya through the glowing garden paths behind the main council hall. The trees shimmered with silver leaves. Soft mist hung in the air. "I've noticed something," he said, breaking the silence. "Yes," she replied, turning to him. "You've kissed me every day, always the same way, but I've seen you greet others differently. Sometimes you just bow, or place a hand on their chest. Why only with me do you use the full gesture?" Lareya stopped walking. She turned to face him. "That is a good question," she said. "At first I greeted you because it was required. You were a new visitor. We must know the truth of a guest's heart. That's our way. But once I kissed you," she paused, "I found something more." Cole raised an eyebrow. "More," as she said quietly. "Our kind call it a resonant bond. It only happens when two people match in mind and emotion. When we kiss, I don't just feel your honesty. I feel your thoughts becoming clearer. I feel you listening in a way most can't." He looked away, unsure how to respond. "It doesn't mean love," she added softly. "Not always. It means connection." Cole nodded slowly. "I think I felt it too, but it's hard to explain. It's like your presence stays with me. After the greeting, like something in me feels warmer." Lareya smiled. "Then the bond is forming." That word bond stuck in his mind. He wasn't sure if it made him excited or nervous. Later, during a tour of Valoran learning chambers, Cole met a group of young trainees. They were curious and eager to understand humans. One of them, a bold girl with green markings on her skin, approached Cole directly. "May I greet you?" she asked. Cole blinked. Greet me how?" "With mouth bonding," she said casually. "I've never kissed a human before." Cole laughed awkwardly. "I think I'll pass for now." The room went silent. The girl frowned, clearly surprised. Another student whispered something. Cole could feel the mood shift. Before anyone could speak, Lariah stepped forward and said, firmly, "He has already bonded." The room relaxed immediately. The girl bowed respectfully. "I'm sorry, emissary. I didn't know." Lariah nodded, then guided Cole away. As they walked down the hallway, Cole looked confused. "Wait, you said I already bonded? What does that mean exactly?" Lariah looked straight ahead. "Among our people, once a resonant bond begins, we do not share the full greeting with others. To do so would confuse the connection. It would be like speaking two languages at the same time." Cole scratched his head. "So, by continuing the greeting with you, I've accidentally said, I'm bonded." "In a way," she said, "but you didn't break any rules." "I only said that to protect your honor. Students are still learning." He was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, "Would it bother you if I greeted someone else that way?" Stopped walking. "Yes, I think it would." Cole was surprised by her honesty. She didn't say it with anger, just with truth. "I don't fully understand what this bond means," he said slowly. "But I don't want to disrespect it." Lariah turned to face him again. "And we take it one day at a time. There is no rush." Cole gave a small smile. "Good, because I still have a lot to learn." She nodded. "So do I. Humans are more complicated than I expected." They both laughed. For the first time since arriving on Valdari Prime, Cole felt like he belonged. That night, he sat in his room, watching the stars through the wide window. The sky here looked different, brighter, with more colors. He thought about Lariah, about her voice, her calm presence, and her honesty. This was supposed to be a mission about peace and trade, about building bridges between species. He hadn't expected to build one between two hearts. Whatever this bond was, it was real, and it was growing. The morning sky on Valdari Prime was calm, with soft purple clouds stretching across the horizon. Cole stood at the edge of a quiet hill, overlooking the glowing fields below. This place, once strange and confusing, had started to feel peaceful, almost familiar, but today wasn't about calm or comfort. He and Lariah were scheduled to visit a power core facility deep in the marshlands, one of the most advanced Valoran structures. It provided energy not only for cities, but also for the planetary defense systems. Security there was always tight. As they boarded a sleek hovercraft, Lariah handed him a thin band. "Place this on your wrist," she said. "Will protect you from energy waves inside the chamber." Cole nodded and followed instructions. "You've been quiet this morning," he added. "Is something wrong?" Lariah hesitated. "I had a dream last night, a strange one. I saw danger near the core, something breaking or being broken. I do not usually dream things like that." Cole gave a half smile. "Maybe you're just nervous. I've had dreams about falling during meetings." But Lariah didn't laugh. Her eyes remained serious. "I hope it was nothing," she said. "Stay close to me, just in case." The energy facility was beautiful in its own way. It rose from the marsh like a shining crystal flower, surrounded by shimmering water and soft wind. Inside, the air was dry and warm. The sound of humming machines filled the corridors. A Valeran engineer, tall and with silver lines on his skin, led them through the halls. Cole listened carefully, trying to understand the systems. Everything was powered by clean plasma energy, flowing through glowing tubes under the floor. Suddenly, they reached a chamber where the main energy stream was visible. A pulsed in soft white-blue light, surrounded by walkways and thin guard. Rails. Cole stepped forward, amazed. This is incredible. Earth doesn't have anything like this. As he leaned slightly to see more, the platform under his feet shook. A loud crack echoed. Laria's eyes widened. Ass! Cole. Move back. Before he could react, the floor panel beneath his boots snapped loose. In one terrifying second, Cole's body dropped and he was about to fall into the glowing energy stream below. But Laria was faster. She leaped forward and grabbed his wrist, holding on with all her strength. Cole dangled over the glowing core, the heat rising toward his face. The energy pulsed, almost alive. His feet kicked in the air. I can't pull myself up, he shouted. Laria's eyes locked on his. She whispered, "Forgive me." Then, without warning, she leaned down and kissed him again. But this time, it was not a greeting. This time, it was something more. In that instant, Cole felt a rush in his mind of vision, like a flash of memory that wasn't his. He saw the image of a Valerian technician secretly adjusting the walkway supports. He saw wires cut, tools hidden, and then, feeling of fear, the vision faded as quickly as it came. Laria pulled back and with a burst of strength yanked him upward. They both crashed onto the floor. Guards rushed in, alarms began to beep, and the engineers panicked. But Cole sat up, heart racing not just from the fall, but from what he had seen. "There's sabotage," he said, his voice shaking. "Someone damaged the walkway on purpose." Everyone stared at him. Lee Reyes stepped in front of him. I confirm his words. The bond showed it to me as well. The engineer who had been leading them looked nervous. His hands trembled. Cole stood, pointing. It was him. Guards surrounded the man immediately. He tried to run, but was caught within seconds. The facility was locked down, and security began a full investigation. Later that day, Cole sat beside a quiet pond just outside the city. Laria joined him, her voice softer than usual. "You saved me," he said. "No," she replied. "You saved everyone. If you had fallen into the core, the energy system would have reacted violently. Loss of balance could have shut down power to half the planet." Cole was still breathing heavily. But how did I see that? The vision, it was so clear. Laria looked into the water. Our bond is deeper now. In times of danger or strong emotion, it allows shared memory. Even glimpses of truth. I didn't know it would work so quickly. But in that moment, our thoughts were open. He nodded slowly. "I didn't expect this when I first arrived." She smiled. "Nor did I." They sat in silence for a while, listening to the wind and the gentle splash of fish. Then Cole asked, "What happens now? Are we bonded forever?" Laria turned toward him. "Only if we choose to be." Cole looked into her calm eyes. He didn't speak. But inside, something had changed. A part of him, once full of doubt and confusion, now felt still. Whatever this connection was, it wasn't just cultural, it was personal, real. Cole stood at the top of the garden tower, looking down at the glowing city lights of Faldari Prime. The sky was deep violet now, with stars shining through soft clouds. He was quiet, thinking about everything that had happened. Just a few days ago, he was confused and embarrassed. Now he had stopped a sabotage, earned the trust of the High Council, and shared a powerful connection with an alien woman who had changed the way he saw the universe. Footsteps approached from behind. He turned slightly and saw Laria, her long robe fluttering gently in the breeze. "You're becoming more Valerian than you think," she said with a small smile. Cole smiled back. "That's funny, I was just thinking the same thing." She stood beside him, both of them looking out over the glowing towers, He said, "Earth has always taught us to respect other cultures. But I didn't expect that to mean mouth bonding." Laria laughed softly. "And we didn't expect humans to be so open to change. Many visitors resist our ways. You adapted quickly." "I didn't really have a choice at first," Cole admitted. "But now, I think I like it. Not just the greeting, the connection." Laria turned to him. "That connection is not something we form with many. Among our people, continuing. The bond with one person means trust, meaning maybe even affection. Cole raised an eyebrow. Affection. She looked into his eyes. Yes, when two people continue to greet each other, to share feelings, to understand without words, it becomes something deeper. We don't rush it, but we don't ignore it either. He took a step closer. And if one of us starts to feel more, then the bond will show it, she said. The next kiss will reveal the truth. Cole nodded slowly. Would you want that? Lariah didn't answer right away. Then she stepped forward, gently placed her hands on his face, and kissed him. It was soft, slow, and warm. But more than that, Tit was clear. Cole felt her thoughts calm and open. He felt her emotions, not forced, not confusing, but real. Trust, care. Something new blooming between them when they pulled apart. Lariah looked at him, a little surprised. You felt it too, didn't you? He nodded. Yeah, I think I really did, she smiled, this time with more light in her eyes. Then our bond is true. The next day, Cole was invited to speak in front of the Valeran High Council. It was rare for an off-worlder to be given this honor, but his bravery at the energy core and his growing connection with Lariah had earned him respect. He wore a long, dark robe gifted to him by the council, marked with a silver symbol over the chest, 2 circles joined together. It was the Valeran sign of shared harmony. As he stood before the council, the chamber was silent. I came here as a stranger, Cole began, a human from a world far away. I didn't understand your ways. I didn't understand your greetings, your customs, or your quiet strength. He looked around at the members watching him, but now I think I understand more. I've seen how you trust with your heart, how you value connection, not words. How a simple kiss is not just a touch, but a doorway to truth. There were soft nods and murmurs of agreement. I've also learned something else. That fear comes from not knowing, but peace comes from listening. He stepped back, and the council stood in respect. One by one, each member placed their hand over their heart, a sign of deep approval. Later that evening, Cole walked beside Lariah through the glowing gardens again. The lights danced softly around them, and small flying creatures floated through the air, glowing like lanterns. I heard what you said to the council, she said. Was it too much? Cole asked. No, she replied gently. It was perfect. You didn't just speak for yourself, you spoke for us. He smiled. I've been thinking, what happens now? When I return to Earth, what do I tell them? She was quiet for a moment.
Ow.
Tell them the truth. That you found something here you didn't expect. That peace is possible, not just through deals, but through understanding. And what about us? He asked. She looked at him, serious and kind. That is for us to decide. The bond is real. It will not break with distance. But it will grow stronger only if we choose it together. Cole nodded. Then I choose it. Lariah stepped forward once more. The kiss was gentle, familiar now. But inside, it was still full of wonder. This was not the end of their story, it was just the beginning.